Thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet Voice You Know with the News You Trust studio, sponsored by Grain Equipment Company, where innovation meets execution. I'm Dave Russell. Well, tune in Thursday as the Ohio Field Leader Roadshow heads to Bolivar in northeast Ohio and the farm of Matt Spillman. The Ohio Field Leader is a project of the Ohio Soybean Council and Soybean Checkoff. Well, the Agriculture Secretary recently talked about a soon-to-be-enacted enhanced animal disease traceability rule, including aspects of privacy and keeping export markets open.
USDA's enhanced animal disease traceability rule, including visual and electronic identification tags for cattle and bison, is scheduled to go into effect early next month. Some stakeholders have expressed privacy concerns, but as Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack told reporters at the recent World Dairy Expo in Wisconsin,
I don't think they should be concerned about the confidentiality because it's going to be controlled by the state. It's not going to be controlled by the federal government. That information is not going to go to the federal government. It's going to go to the state.
The Secretary notes the importance of animal disease traceability in the context of keeping export markets open in the event of a disease outbreak.
When I did the G7 meeting, people were very interested in H5N1 in terms of our ability to test, our ability to identify, our ability to make sure that exports were being checked and protected, that they weren't getting milk that was tainted in any way. So the ability to have that system is really, really important.
I'm Rod Bain reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C.
FarmDoc, the University of Illinois, says the ag sector is closely watching the fertilizer markets this week because of the ongoing war in the Middle East. Following months of tight supplies, global nitrogen values started rising last week. The story of the week was Iran's attack on Israel. The Middle East is an important area for fertilizer production in general, but it's especially important for nitrogen. Josh Linville of StoneX says the attack on Israel may have forced the market to finally admit that supplies are tight, and it's manifesting in higher prices. The National Association of Conservation Districts announced the launch of its application period for the 2025 Friends of NACD District Grants Program. Now in its sixth round of funding, the Friends of NACD District Grants Program is an initiative of the NACD District and Partner Relations Committee. The 2025 program will award top-ranking applicants up to $2,500 each to conduct new activities or test novel approaches to their operations. The Friends of NACD program was established in 2009 to increase support for 3,000 conservation districts nationwide. Well, most of the USDA's Farm Bill programs continue to year's end if new legislation is not passed. However, there are some that expired on September 30th.
The 2018 Farm Bill expired. The questions are, what USDA programs have been halted and what programs continue to operate past the September 30th expiration? Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack explained to reporters at the World Dairy Expo earlier this month.
Some programs that are called orphan programs that effective September 30th basically stopped. There are a couple of organic programs. There's a couple of conservation programs that stopped. They're relatively small in terms of their impact, except to the people that obviously have benefited from them.
While most Farm Bill programs continue at the present moment.
They're either continue because they had continued authorization or they continue because they have resources that are unspent and available.
However,
that basically does stop at the end of the year. So I think there is pressure on Congress to do one of two things, either to pass the Farm Bill and get it done or to pass an extension. And I think there's no question one of those two things will happen.
I'm Rod Bain reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C.
The markets, they're next.
4.8 million. That's the number of acres of soybeans planted in Ohio, making it the state's largest crop. Hi, this is Dusty Sonnenberg, host of the Ohio Field Leader Podcast, a production of the Ohio Soybean Council and Soybean Checkoff. Join me as I visit with agricultural leaders and researchers to discuss soybean production, best management practices, precision ag technology, and environmental and water quality topics. Listen wherever you get your podcast, the Ohio Field Leader Podcast.
Farmers, be safe moving from field to field this season. Keep your warning lights clean and in good working order for roadway travel. Take a few minutes to check your lights and reflectors and make sure your slow-moving vehicle emblem is visible as you share the road. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. This message provided to you by the Ohio AgNet, OSU Extension Ag Safety and Health Team, and this station.
The market's brought to you by Seed Consultants, simply better performance, online at seedconsultants.com. At the Board of Trade, December corn 4.20 3/4 down 5 1/4. March corn 4.38 1/4 down 4 1/2. November soybeans 10.16 1/4 down 17 3/4. January beans 10.34 1/2 down 18. July wheat 6.38 1/2 up a penny 1/4. At the Mercantile Exchange, October cattle 188.47 up $1. October hogs 84.12 up 15 cents. November feeder cattle 250.30 up $1.15. This is the Ohio AgNet.